You are coming up on 4 years of sobriety. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where are you from originally?
So I'm from Tampa, born and raised in Tampa. I lived there until high school, and then I went out of state for school. But
Did you have siblings?
I did not. I was an only child.
Ooh.
Yeah, only child.
Only child syndrome.
Yeah, only child syndrome. Family had a little havoc every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I had everything that I needed. But my life story is a little bit special. Because when I was a kid, I had leukemia. So
Ooh.
it wasn't me getting spoiled, was actually getting the chance to have a second life and surviving.
Yeah.
So things were a little different from the beginning.
So let's, at what age were you diagnosed with leukemia?
Like 5 or 6.
Okay.
So I was pretty young.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and just to jump around a little bit here, were your parents together your childhood, good household?
Good household. It slowly became more dysfunctional as I got older, but good household when I was growing up. Like in those foundational years, both parents together, everything was good. Just kind of focused on me and my health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get diagnosed with leukemia. Now, 5, 6 years old, you probably don't remember the day you were diagnosed that conversation. So as far back as you can remember, what were some of the things that leukemia impacted in your life in childhood?
So the biggest things were school, because I had to get treatments all the time. So my teachers met with my parents before school started every year, because my parents ended up taking a lot of my homework and stuff home with me because I would get pulled out of school early to get chemo. And then I actually remember a lot of the times that I was in the hospital. So in the hospital, I had to get like bone marrow transplants, had to get chemo, had a port placed, all the good stuff. So I was put under a whole lot. I remember that. Even as a kid, I loved it. Loved anesthesia.
Yeah.
But it was quite an interesting way to grow up. But as a kid, my parents always wanted me to grow up normal. So they just kind of ignored it and didn't tell me until later. I still played sports. I still got to hang out with friends.
Oh, okay. So they didn't tell you right away.
No.
They withheld. Okay. So what were they, if you could remember, what were they saying to you as to why you were going to the hospital so much and having surgeries? They
just kept telling me you have to go see your doctor. As a 5-year-old, cancer would be a pretty large thing to tell them, not really understanding the full.
Smart.
Yeah. So they just kind of said, this is your doctor. You have to see them every day.
Got it.
And that's it.
Got it. Now, were you able to make friends through childhood? Did this disrupt it clearly disrupted your everyday life and, what we would quote unquote call normal living.
Yeah.
But in terms of like your social life, did it impact your social life at all? Or?
So interestingly enough, looking back at it, I had a lot of friends. Like I was cool with all the kids in school. And it didn't really impact my social life as much as I would think. And I can actually thank my parents for that, because when it comes to dealing with a health crisis of that nature, parents can either be very, very restrictive on the child and say, like, we need to keep them in the house, make sure they don't get sick. But my parents said, no, he needs to develop. He needs to have friends. He needs to go out and do stuff. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to your parents.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely helped me out there.
You ever see the movie Bubble Boy? Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, I haven't.
His mom puts him in a bubble, says he has like this rare disease where he can't be exposed to the world.
And he just stays in the bubble?
Yeah, and it was a lie the entire time.
No.
And she just wanted to keep him like tied to her. She was very codependent, clearly.
Yeah, that would have messed with me really bad for sure. I would not have liked that. I've always been an extroverted little guy. So,
yeah.
Especially growing up into my later life.
Yeah.
Always liked talking to people.
Yep.
It's been something that has been a huge part of my life.
So how long did the surgeries last for?
It was about 3.5 years of treatment. I remember the day that it stopped. Not the exact date. It was somewhere in March when I was in 3rd grade, the end of 3rd grade. And I remember it was this big deal. everybody was all excited, parents, family, because they took the port like out. That was the last day. They said, you don't need treatment anymore, so we could take this out.
Wow.
Like you're in remission sort of deal.
Yeah. And what is that, from what you can remember, what does that feel like in terms of like, did you not feel a part of with people, or, and was it more of I mean, of course, excitement, relief, but like, was it, just like back to normal life, or what was it?
It was definitely back to normal life. At that point, I was starting to age into, puberty, growing up and stuff. And I heard it in a meeting one time, a couple of years ago. It was at a speaker meeting. I was about a year sober, and somebody described me perfectly growing up. Is I had a lot of friends, but I always felt like my friends had a friend that was better than me. So I was friends with everybody, but I wasn't anybody's best friend. I could go into all these situations and feel a part of, but I was never like that person to somebody. I was always just like a little different.
Got it.
Yeah.
That resonates with me as well.
Yeah,
I had that same exact feeling. So you go through middle school, into high school. What was it from an identity standpoint for you through middle school and high school?
So I was always one of those like smart kids, but I was never really connected to the outcast, not social smart kids, because I played sports. I played baseball in middle school. I quit that in high school and went to bowling. Nice. Surprisingly enough, they told me there was a lot of scholarship money in bowling. I said, I got to learn how to bowl.
Done.
So that's what I did. But I just, I had that same identity issue where I was a part of all of these social groups, but I never felt like I belonged in one area. I belonged everywhere, but not really in one spot.
Yeah. Okay. So when do you first pick up any kind of alcohol or drug?
So the first time that I drank and really got drunk was Thanksgiving in 2011. So I'm 11.
Hey guys, quick update. Starting Monday, August 25th, I'm hosting a weekly open recovery meeting. It's for any addiction. Whether you're struggling with alcohol, drugs, gambling, food, you name it, everyone is welcome. If you want to get updates and the meeting link each week, just email me at kevin@riseabovepod.com to join the list. Again, that's kevin@riseabovepod.com. Put Rise Above Meeting in the subject, and I'll add you to the list. Lastly, so that we can continue to spread the message of hope, please drop us a like or subscribe. And on streaming platforms, if you could please leave us a rating, it helps us reach more people. Thank you so much. You were 11. You were born 11. In 2000?
I was born in 2000.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 2011, you're 11 years old. It's Thanksgiving. You have your first drink. Sneaking it
a little bit, but it's also kind of accepted. I was at my cousin's house and families, big party family sort of deal. All the family comes over. They had friends over at the house every once in a while. So it was kind of like accepted. They knew that I was in a safe spot. And I remember drinking and feeling great. And I didn't continue to drink because obviously I'm a child. But I just remember feeling like I'm finally a part of, like I can sit at the adult table and I'm respected now. Like I feel like I belong somewhere.
Yep.
As soon as the alcohol touches my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm everyone's best friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
The roles reverse.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oxys were my thing. When I first took an Oxy, I remember like all my worries, the pain, the fears, everything just went away. The chaos stopped in my head. It kind of just cleared everything up. And if you said to me, hey, do you think you can, become the president of the United States? I would have said yes and pass the lie detector test. Like I could do anything. So when does your drinking / drugs pick up?
So it picks up a little bit in high school. The drinking definitely does. I smoke weed a couple of times, but the drugs really pick up at 18, the day that I hit college campus, West Virginia University.
So you go to West Virginia. Did you get that bowling scholarship?
So the bowling scholarships come from tournament to tournament. I got scholarships for academics. I did really well in school. I knew that if I kept the grades good in high school, no one would bother me.
Yeah.
Kept the grades good in high school. I was a valedictorian. And then I go to West Virginia.
You were valedictorian?
I was valedictorian.
Good for you, man.
Thank you. And I remember the day that I was told, I was kind of blown away because I was just like, all I need to do is keep these grades good. I can do whatever else I want as long as I have A's.
Yeah.
That was my thinking, telling myself, if I get drunk tonight, if I get high tonight, as long as I have good grades, no one's going to bother me.
Yeah, that was your identity, essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So you go to West Virginia.
I go to West Virginia, and the partying, it kicks off, man. I went to school to party. I went to WVU because they said it was the #1 party school in America. And damn it, they definitely proved it.
Was this 2018 when you went to college?
2018, yeah.
Okay. So give us a rundown of like your first real run-in with drugs and...
With drugs?
Yeah, like or like your biggest, night, like first night at West Virginia where you're just like, holy shit.
So I go to school and I know nobody. I knew absolutely zero people. The guy that I was roommates with, I met him on the roommate matching service. He seemed cool. And we talked for a couple of months. And he knew nobody either. So I had to hustle to get friends. I had to hustle to get connections. And everything that I did, or every person that I talked to at West Virginia, I immediately got their number, said, what are you doing? And that got me a lot of friends. But the drinking started the first night. The first night I met there, I met my roommate. We looked at each other and said, we need to get beer. We need to get beer. And we ended up seeing this guy. He looked a little older, and we walked up to him. We're like, listen, our fake IDs aren't in yet. We will pay you double for a case of beer. It's $20. We'll give you $40. Get us 2 cases of beer. And then we started going. And then it was almost an every night thing immediately.
Yeah.
Because that then became my identity. I loved partying. And I was not shy about it at all.
So you start drinking and now you're valedictorian.
Yeah.
And are you going to class or are you attending class?
So I attended class about 75% of the classes my first semester. And then it slowly trickled down. I think my last year at West Virginia, I probably went to like 8 classes. I went for exams.
Oh my God.
I showed up for exams. I went to syllabus week, and then I found somebody who looked like they had their shit together, and I gave them, we had these little clickers that you had to do for attendance. I'd be like, hey, can you take this? They would take it, and I would just never go back.
That's crazy. They had clickers in 2018.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was like, press the button to say that you're here.
Yeah.
Everybody in the class would press the button. Someone would do it for me. I would get my attendance points and I wouldn't be there.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I would be out doing something else.
Yeah.
But not at school. Why would I go to school to learn?
Yeah.
This is my idea. Okay.
So what ramps up? Drinking or drugs?
Oh, both. I've done everything under the sun. What beat me was cocaine, but we can get to that a little later.
Yeah.
But in freshman year, I really loved like acid and shrooms and Molly, all the psychedelics. They were fun. The drinking for sure, and Xanax. So every year I had like different little phases.
Yeah. Do you remember your first acid high?
Oh, for sure.
Can you walk us through what happened? Yeah.
So the first time that I took acid, I was 18 and I didn't have an acid plug in Morgantown where the college was at, but I knew a buddy who had one from his hometown. It was about 45 minutes away. And so we drive. I had a buddy who had a car. I didn't have a car going to West Virginia. Everything was walkable, but he had a car and he took me to get this acid. And we're going back to his place, his parents' house. He said, oh, my parents are cool. Don't worry about it. My first time meeting them. And I take this acid in the car and he calls his mom. He's like, listen, I'm with Chandler. he just took acid. We'll be there in about 20 minutes. She's like, do not bring drugs into this household. You know this. Like, we've told you that. I've already taken the acid.
Oh.
So he's in the driver's seat. I'm in the back, and he turns around. He's like, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. I've already taken this acid. I start feeling the come up. I've done mushrooms. I've done ecstasy. So I feel it in my neck. I feel everything's space is shifting a little bit. The acid's coming. I took a tab and a half. I'm starting to feel it. And we get there, and I get out of the car, and it hits me full in the face. And I have to meet these parents. And I'm not doing a good job. I don't know how much experience you have with LSD, but when I describe to someone who hasn't taken it, it's like you're a child. You're like 2-3 years old. You don't have a whole lot of social capacity at first. The walls, everything's pulsing, and his dad comes up to shake my hand, and my name's Chandler. And we go down in the basement, and I'm just staring at the carpet. Everything's moving, and everybody's talking around me, and I'm not paying attention. So I'm having these crazy visuals, and I go outside. So I'm like, I need to take a second. It's snowing. I need to take a second. I'm like smoking a cigarette outside. And he told me that his parents thought that I was like learning disabled. They thought that I had like mental issues because I'm like nonverbal and I'm just staring at the ground, not blinking. They're like, what's wrong with this kid that you brought over? Like, you really have some specialty friends at West Virginia. Like, who did you meet here? And he tells them the whole story. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting outside in the dark watching the snow come down, having the best time of my life outside.
Oh my God.
I come in and his dad looks at me. He's like, relax. We know what's going on with you. What's going on with me? He's like, listen, me and all my friends back in the day, we used to have Shroom Thursday. We took shrooms every Thursday, and now I can't do basic algebra. He's like, just have a good time, man. We're going to have a good time. It's like, all right. These people are cool.
And then the scene kind of just relaxed from there.
Then I was able to enjoy my acid, but...
Oh, my God. Yeah. Dude, that sounds like... It sounds like hell, but it sounds like a fun ride.
Yeah, it was a fun ride, for sure.
You'll never forget that.
No, I won't forget that. But I loved acid. That was my thing for a while. 2019, I took acid for 11 days straight. Completely changed me as a person.
In a good or a bad way?
In a good way. In a good way.
It humbled you.
Yeah, definitely humbled me. I didn't sleep a whole lot, but yeah, it was my thing for a while.
Did you have an ego before or no?
I never, so in AA, I like to say that I was the most self-deprecating narcissist you'd ever meet. Like, I thought that I was top dog when I'm talking to you, like, I could do this, I'm so smart, I'm so good at this. Then me versus myself, I'm like, I need to change, like, everything in me is bad.
Yeah. That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're now in sophomore year.
Yeah.
Going to less classes. Were you passing all your classes though?
I was.
Were you cheating on tests?
No.
You were just figuring it out?
I was just figuring it out. So I went to school for pre-med. I did not pass my sophomore year classes. I passed my freshman year classes because they weren't really that hard. I was signed up for some really basic classes because I knew that I wasn't really going to be paying attention that much in school. It started to pick up in sophomore year. I had to take organic chemistry. And I remember I didn't show up. That's a class you kind of need to show up for. I ended up getting a 34% on exam 2 with the curve. And I took the exam to my academic advisor. I was like, I need to withdraw from this class immediately. And I need to change from pre-med. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I didn't want to do school. I wanted to party.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. I finally felt like I was a part of. I had all of these friends. I would wake up in the morning groggy as shit. But I'd have texts, come here, come there, come here, come there. And I finally felt like I was having fun in life. So school was not a priority to me.
So it's interesting because in the act of addiction, we sacrifice some things.
Yeah.
And in your case, it was studying, for pre-med and becoming a doctor potentially. And I'm sure there was a piece of you that said, I don't really want to do it. But
no,
you could have put the focus into it if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And put that at the number one spot as opposed to the partying. And those bars that we have set, we bring them down more and more over time. And like, this was the start of it for you.
Yeah. I sacrificed everything.
Yeah.
Like I had all of this great foundation that I built for myself in high school with friends, with family, with relationships, with girls. I had all of this foundation. And then I started drinking, smoking weed every day, doing other drugs every day. The drinking and smoking weed was an everyday thing. Throughout all of these stories, I'm hammered and I'm definitely smoking weed.
Yeah.
It's just what else is going to show up in my piss test at any given time.
Yeah. Were you ever getting into opiates?
So I did, but they were never my thing. Surprisingly enough, I did perks, I did Roxy's, I did everything, but I did not like the feeling. For some reason, I really like to go fast. I liked things that sped me up. That's why I liked acid more than I liked shrooms, because I felt shrooms were more calming, more calming high. I liked acid and ecstasy because I can mix it with cocaine and have a great time.
Yeah. When does your cocaine start ramping up?
So the cocaine starts ramping up in junior year. And man, the cocaine, it got me, and it got me hard.
How did it start?
So I did it every once in a while, but the girl that I was dating at the time said, you can do whatever you want. I just don't like cocaine, because she had an abusive ex-boyfriend that was like a coke addict, and said, okay, if I can do whatever I want, I'll just do this every once in a while. But what ended up happening was I was at this house party. I was blacked out. And the next door neighbor to the house party was this big cocaine guy. He wasn't even in school. There's people at West Virginia who occupy the houses. They're not in school. They just know that they can deal to all of the students. And he was just next door. And I knew these people. I was like, oh, this guy's been here this whole time and you never told me?
That's so not good.
So
this is so bad.
I'm just walking next door. And I'm like, I'll get a gram. A couple hours later, the gram's gone. I'm like, shit, I need another gram.
Yeah.
So I would just walk back over. And that became pretty regular. It definitely became pretty regular. And he knew what his job was. So he was awake 4 a.m. when you wanted it. He was not awake at noon when you were asleep, but he was awake at 4 a.m. when you wanted it. So it was great.
Yeah, his peak hours are like midnight to like 6 a.m.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nocturnal.
Definitely. I mean, so was I.
Yeah. So how long until the girl finds out about your cocaine use?
So the girl finds out pretty much immediately, because I was dating her for a long time. So I was pretty open. Her and I were really cool. And she didn't like it, but as we addicts, alcoholics are, I rationalized it, said, it's okay. I'll never be that bad.
I won't be abusive.
I won't be abusive. This is just a phase. Like, it'll phase out for something else, like all the other drugs have. And she believed it because other than the acid, like everything had phases. The Xans had a phase, but they all came back in rotation. It was like the Xans, ecstasy, Adderalls, back to the Xans, kind of in a circle. Whatever I could get, I would do. If you would hand me a cup of random pills back in 2019 and say, here's like 7 or 8 different things, I just take them. Why not?
Yeah. So when do you start noticing that cocaine's really a problem?
Oh, immediately. Like immediately.
Right, but when, dude, when do you have like a moment of clarity where like the worry starts to really settle in and then you're starting to sacrifice more things and like on paper, it's really a problem?
On paper, it's really a problem. I'm like 20 years old and I'm DoorDashing to survive. I'm DoorDashing to pay the bills. I'm driving and I'm rubbing it in my gums and I'm shaking and I'm waiting until the DoorDash hits about $100 and I'm like, okay, I can get a gram with this and then I can get a couple beers, like a couple tall boys, and that'll get me going until I DoorDash a little bit to get the rest of the money that'll last me for the rest of the night. And I'm like in this cycle every day, but I knew as soon as I was 18 that I was an addict. I knew that I was an addict. I went to AA, high. I went to NA when I was 19, high. Didn't pay attention, didn't care. I got into some trouble with the school, the whole RA deal. The cops in Morgantown, they love giving out underages because they know everybody there is underage drinking. And they're at the judge just kept sending me to AA and I kept seeing the same guy. And at one point I was like, dude, I'm not even going to expunge it. I'm just not going to go. Just let me rack it up. Like, I don't care. I'll just pay the fine and just not go.
Yeah.
But I knew I was an addict for sure.
Yeah. How were you doing that DoorDash insane cycle you just talked about every single day?
Every day. Every day.
Oh my God. And were you still dating the girl?
No, we broke up. We definitely broke up. And that was a catalyst. We broke up in 2020, sometime in the end of 2020.
So your junior year?
Yeah, my junior year.
COVID hit?
COVID hit. It was after COVID. We came back. I was living with this guy who I was really close with through all of West Virginia. And the addiction just sort of separated me and this girl over time. Because like we talked about, like you mentioned, we make sacrifices. And eventually the drugs and the alcohol took everything from me. And it definitely took her. And she was at a pedestal in my life. We were together for multiple years. I cared about her a lot. But eventually she was the one thing that was ahead of the drugs and alcohol. And eventually the drugs and alcohol just won. And it slowly distanced us apart. She said, I can't deal with this anymore. You're going out too much. I never see you. We never hang out. Like, enough is enough.
She'd had enough.
Yeah. And that crushed me at the time. So I medicated myself the only way that I knew how. Bunch of Xans, OD'd on fentanyl, Hulks.
Can you take us through the day you OD'd on fentanyl?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple times. But the first time, I had this paramedic. My friend was dating this paramedic. I had his number and I had a deal with him. I call him when I need help. He doesn't take me to the hospital. He Narcans me, he leaves because I didn't want to pay the hospital bill. And he knew I'm an addict and that's all that I need. I'm going to get pissed off if I wake up in the hospital. I'm not going to call him and I'm just going to die. And he and I were friends. So he doesn't want me to die. He'll just narc me and leave. So it was about 2 days after we had broken up. I get this bottle.
You and your girlfriend broke up?
Yeah, me and my girlfriend broke up. I get this bottle of something. I have no idea. It was like Don Julio or Hennessy, whatever I was drinking. I go to the store, I get it, and I'm drinking it. And I think all I need is Xanax at this point. So I get 10 of them. I get 10 of these little Hulks and I just start eating them. Eating them. And, the memory's a little hazy because I'm drinking a lot and I'm on these Xans. And Xanax and memory do not go hand in hand very well. But I remember the next morning, I wake up in my bed, which is not normal. I'm usually on the couch, I'm on the floor, or I'm in some random house, whatever house I was hanging out at. My bed, I only showed back up at 25% of the time. So I wake up in bed, and I'm like, all right, and my chest really hurts. It really hurts. And I see a bunch of phone calls from paramedic guy and texts. And one of them just says, call me when you wake up. And I wake up and he's like, dude, you called me last night. Your eyes were rolled to the back of your head. I'm on FaceTime with him. He's like, on FaceTime, you just collapse on the ground. So he's on the truck, this ambulance in this main street, just waiting for drunk people to need a ride to the hospital or whatever. And he drives the mile up the hill to my apartment complex. And he finds me collapsed on the ground. And he's like, I immediately check if you have a pulse. You have a pulse, but you're not breathing. So he Narcans me and I don't get up. He's like, that's not good. Doesn't usually happen. So he's like trying to get me to breathe by doing the little ambu bag. He's trying to get me to breathe. And then he Narcans me again. And then I wake up. He's like, all right, we're putting his ass in bed.
Oh my God.
I wake up. I'm hammered. I'm not really having a good time. So he just gets him and his partner. They just pick me up off the ground and put me in bed. And I'm not happy about it. But he's like, dude.
You just passed out for the night?
Yeah, I just passed out for the night. And then I went through my morning routine. Morning routine was wake up, see what I did last night through texts and Snapchats and what the hell did I do? Smoke some cigarettes outside, crack a beer, and restart. Every day.
What was the second time you overdosed?
Oh, it was a similar experience.
Oh my God.
It was a similar experience.
Jesus,
I never
dude.
learned from my mistakes.
Yeah.
All that I knew was I loved the feeling of Xanax, and a green Xanax is never just Xanax. There's always other shit. The edges are not squared up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they're a little crusty.
Yeah, they're a little crusty. They're not shaped correctly. And I don't care.
It's fentanyl.
I say, whatever the fuck's in here, I'm taking it.
So you are 25 years old now.
I am.
Okay. And you got sober, call it 4 years ago. You got sober at 21.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through the last 6 months before you got sober and then how you ultimately ended up making the decision to get sober?
Yeah. So there were a lot of life events that led me to getting sober. And I never really wanted to get sober. I thought that I was just going to die. I thought I was just going to overdose and die. I was cool with it. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't suicidal or like, I want to take all these drugs to die. Mm-hmm. But I just thought, I'm going to party until the party beats me. But until the party beats me, I'm just going to live it up. So in April of 2021, I had this major car accident. It was a routine drive that I had. Me and my buddy, we would go late night after all the parties are done. We'd go and walk along this lake. We'd roll some blunts and we'd drive and smoke them and walk around this lake. It was a real peaceful way to end the night. So we had done it multiple times, but it was raining that night and I'm speeding, going like 90 down the highway, and I hit this puddle and I drive right into a wall, crash into another wall, total my car, break my back. And I'm in the hospital. I have to get back surgery done, spinal fusion. And it's not a catalyst that I need to stop drinking, but it's one of these life events that I look back on and say like, wow, I should have gotten sober then. Because I'm sitting in the hospital and all that I want is more drugs. Like I have this major surgery done and I have buddies go and buy McDonald's for me. I'm like, get me a McChicken and put a bottle in it and drive it up here so that I can drink while I'm in this hospital bed. And they do it.
Jesus Christ.
And I look back on that and I'm like, that's God trying to save my life and tell me, hey, you need some change, dude. And I'm not paying attention because I'm stuck in my own ways. So I graduate early. I graduate my junior year and I stay in Morgantown. I decide I'm about to turn 21. I'm doing blow every day. I'm drinking every day. Like, I'm going to party it up. And I was supposed to start my master's program at West Virginia. I get accepted to a master's program for addiction counseling.
Oh my God.
And I'm critically addicted to all sorts of drugs. And I'm a crippling alcoholic, degenerate to the max. And I remember in the interviews, I'm like, yeah, man, I just really want to help people. Like, I can connect with them on this basis. I understand. Yeah, the people love me. I show up to maybe one class. They kick me out. But, that's at the end of the 6 months. I remember I'm staying in Morgantown, and all that I'm doing is drugs. There's nothing to do all day. I have no classes. I have zero obligations but DoorDash and do cocaine.
So
that's it. So that's what I did.
Wait, so you had back surgery. How long were you like bedridden for after the surgery?
So they told me that I needed to take 12 weeks to heal. I go home and I stay in bed for about 7 days, and I get up and I decide if I can walk, I can party. So after 7 days, I go out. And I'm going out to the bar with staples in my spine. And I'm showing people like it's a party trick. I'm like, what's up? You want to see something crazy? And I lift the back of my shirt. There's like 30 staples in my back. I'm like, dude, get the fuck away from me. Like, you need help.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. So So you continue on. You're back to door dashing.
I'm back to door dashing.
How much longer does that last? And was there a specific event that happened to get you sober?
Yeah, so there's definitely a specific event. So, I get sober in October of 2021. From August to September, I go on this crazy coke alcohol bender. I'm not sleeping at all. I'm not going to classes. Meanwhile, I'm in this master's program. There's 25 people. We all have the same classes together. Everybody knows everybody. All the teachers know us. And I'm not there. So they know that I'm not there. And whenever I show up, I'm really, really intoxicated. Yeah. And I'm sitting in the back. And they notice. I remember it was about a week before I do this Jedi flip. Are you aware? Do you know what a Jedi flip is?
I don't.
So a Jedi flip is something that I always wanted to do from when I started psychedelics. A Jedi flip is when you take acid, molly, and shrooms all at the same time, and you just see what happens. It's crazy. It's a crazy experience. I did it on a Thursday. I just felt it in my chest. I said, I have this feeling. Today's the day that I need to do this.
Molly, shrooms, and what?
And acid.
Okay.
All three at the same time. So I took 5 grams of mushrooms, 2.5 tabs of acid, and 1 gram of molly over the course of 24 hours.
Okay.
And I learned that a Jedi flip is not a back flip or a front flip. A Jedi flip is a flip to the right. Because my center of gravity didn't feel like it was in my chest anymore. It felt like it was over here, and I was walking in circles. And yeah, it was great. I had a great time.
Oh my God. Well, you lived.
I lived. Crazy visuals. Granted, I mean, I'm on a shit ton of psychedelics. I better have crazy visuals. But so I was doing cocaine and stuff and drinking per usual. But that week, I get an email from one of the professors, the head of this master's program. He said, like, listen, we need to talk about your performance. What fucking performance? I don't show up. So I sit down with him. He's like, listen, what's going on with you? He's like, what? And I'm like, listen, like, school's just been hard. Like, I'm trying to rationalize it any way I can, but I'm like, he knows. He definitely knows. And I'm high right now. So he knows I want this conversation to be over. So I look at him and I'm like, dude, I just have like a really bad drinking problem, really bad drug problem. He looks at me, he goes, oh, I know. And he stands up and leaves. I'm like, oh, this is awkward. Like, I thought we were going to talk about this. Yeah. He just stands up and leaves. He just
got up and left?
Yeah, he just got up and left. I'm sitting in his office. I'm like, that's it. It's kind of anticlimactic. And in comes one of my other professors.
Yeah.
And she goes on this tangent. She's like, listen, we know all this faculty's been talking about you. How do we get you fucking help? How do we get you help? And she's like writing on this whiteboard. She's like, I've been sober 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And you need help immediately or you're going to die. And I never saw it in myself. And I didn't want to listen. And I'm sitting there and she's writing on this whiteboard all this stuff about recovery, and it's in one ear, out the other ear. She's like, listen, after we have this conversation, you're no longer a part of the program. You need to go to rehab. So I don't for about a week. I say, all right, I now don't have any obligations. I need to go to rehab and I'll get to it. But let me go on one last bender, which I do. And I don't sleep for this whole week. I'm doing blow all week. I'm having these visuals because after enough days without any sleep, stuff starts to not be normal.
You hallucinate.
Yeah, I'm hallucinating. I'm hallucinating like I took acid, but I didn't take acid. And it was 5 a.m. and I'm in my house alone. And I had this glass table. I loved it. It was a glass table on wheels, perfect for cocaine. There's just lines all on it. And I think that the police are outside about to raid my house. So I run into my bathroom and I start throwing up blood. This is not normal. This is not normal. And I look at myself in the mirror, and for the first time, it was about 3-4 days after I had this conversation, I look at myself in the mirror and I don't recognize who I'm looking at. I don't recognize the man I see in the mirror anymore. And it's like, I need to change. Absolutely. So I make the call to the one person who will always pick up the phone, which is my mom. And I call her and I say, Mom, I need to go to rehab. It's like 7 a.m. And the only thing that she says is thank you. She's like, it's about time. She's been waiting on it.
She knew.
Yeah, she knew for sure. Because, losing weight, not really talking to people, growing out the hair. I had long hippie hair. And all I cared about was drugs and alcohol. That's it. I didn't have any other cares in the world. All I wanted to do was party. And she was just finally happy that I gave it up. So she starts driving up, and I know I got to make it count. So the last night, I just did all the rest of the drugs that I had, everything. I just tried to fill my body with whatever I had, and then I got in the car.
What did you have left?
I had Coke, I had Molly, I had weed, I had alcohol. I didn't have any Xans.
Yeah. Okay.
My last Xanax was August 17th of 2021, and I quit cold turkey, had a couple seizures. For those listening at home, don't quit any benzo without medical detox. Seriously.
Could we take one step back really quick?
Yeah.
Can you, and I think this is important for the listener as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people just quit benzos like that, and then they have seizures.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through the day that you had a seizure? I'm assuming you quit that day and you didn't take it. So you could walk us through exactly what happened.
Yeah, so I quit that day and I had a seizure. I was taking multiple Xanax at the same time. I had a dude in Mexico that would ship them to me. It was my dad had open heart surgery on the 17th. And I knew that I was super addicted to Xanax at the time. I was taking them every day. And I said, today's the day that I make a change and I don't take Xanax anymore. So I stopped. I texted him. I said, love you. I'll talk to you after you have your surgery. And I took the Xanax and I said, this is my last Xanax.
That was the night before.
It was that day. August 17th was the day that he had surgery. So I took one that day. And then the next day, and even time for me is a little hazy.
Yeah, the 18th.
The 18th. I remember I was in my house and I was gonna walk to go to the bathroom. I lived alone, And I just had this feeling from my feet all the way up to my head, just feel warm. And then I felt my arms turn in. And then about 6 minutes later, I wake up on my side covered in vomit. So I absolutely could have died in that moment. Because when you have seizures, you start to spit up. If you breathe it in, you aspirate, you choke and die. So do not whatsoever quit benzos without medical help.
Yeah.
I did it. I have no idea how I'm sitting here today,
Yeah.
but that happened a couple of times. But I remember that one specific time because it was just such a vivid feeling. And then from that feeling, it was the same thing. I would just feel my arms start to turn in, and it happened 3 or 4 times over like a 2 to 3 day period. And then I just didn't take any more Xans.
That's scary. You're lucky to be here.
Need to medically detox.
I've said it so many times to you already in this interview. You're so lucky to be here.
I've heard that plenty.
So, okay, back to your mom is driving up to get you to go to rehab. Mm-hmm. You take everything that you have left, and then you get in the car with her. She is driving you to rehab.
Yeah.
How does that drive go?
Oh, it's terrible. It's the worst fucking drive ever. It's a 14.5-hour drive.
Where did she take you?
She took me from West Virginia all the way back here.
Oh, to
I
Florida.
went to rehab here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I went to Riverside Recovery in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
They have pictures of the Hillsborough River on the cover of it. You do not go on the Hillsborough River. You sit inside.
Yeah.
There's a little square where you can smoke cigarettes. But I went to Riverside Recovery in Tampa, Florida. It was the one and only rehab that I went to. And I was full and well prepared to be sober when I got there. But I didn't want to stop drinking. In fact, I journaled when I was in rehab. And there's a journal about 30 or so days in when I write all over one page, like, I don't want to drink anymore.
Wow.
One of my first journal entries was like, I'm here to get off of drugs. Hopefully I can smoke weed and drink when I get out like a normal person.
Yeah.
And then 30 days into it, I'm like, I never want to fucking do this again.
Why the change in attitude?
I listened. I listened because I had nothing left. I took a look at myself, and I remember staring at myself in the mirror and not understanding the person that I saw. I knew that I was crazy. In that same place where I stared in the mirror, I did not pay electric. I didn't pay water. So I in that same room, I remember I was taking a shower one day and the water turned off. And I had to use bottled water to get the soap out of my hair. I knew that I couldn't do this anymore. And I wasn't prepared to die. Somewhere along in rehab, I just sat there and I told myself, like, it's life and death for me. The fact that I'm here today, between medicine, between drugs and alcohol, between this crazy car accident, like, if a cat has 9 lives and I'm a cat, I'm on the last one. Like, God's telling me, like, I have to take care of myself.
So getting sober at 21 years old is daunting. You're in your prime.
Yeah.
You hit a bottom. What were some of the thoughts maybe going into rehab? Were you thinking, the party's over, now I got to just do this sobriety thing, it's going to be boring for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Did you have those thoughts?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't really sure what life was going to look like for me. I got a sponsor when I was in rehab. They took us to outside meetings after we had been in the place for a couple of weeks. And I got a sponsor the first meeting that I went to. Raised my hand. I needed a sponsor. Guy came up to me. He said, take my number. Call me from the wall phone. And I actually fucking called him because I was willing to accept help.
Yeah.
And the first step that I worked with him, he had me write down 10 ways that I was powerless over drugs and alcohol, 10 ways my life was unmanageable, and 10 reservations that I had to getting sober. And my reservations list was long. There were a lot of reasons that I didn't want to stay sober every day. What if I have a wedding? I'm not dating anybody. What if I have a daughter? I have no kids and I'm single. Like, if I get a terminal illness, I'm going to drink. If my parents die, I'm going to drink. If I travel outside of the country, I'm going to drink. If my friends have a bachelor party, I'm going to drink. I have all these events. How am I going to stay sober through all this nonsense? And I wasn't ready until I was just about to leave to stop. And I didn't know how. I didn't know how to live. Because for those couple of years when I was in school, that was my whole identity. And I didn't really have like the greatest identity going into it. So I had to learn how to be myself, be comfortable being myself. I learned how to socially talk to people because for the longest time it was, what are you doing? Do you smoke weed? Like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like my conversation skills to normal people were less than none.
Yeah.
So I learned everything that I have in the program.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing. You talked about step one. Now, I know from experience in the step work, we have a couple steps where we take a look at ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And we learn about alcohol, drugs, anything, gambling, sex addiction. Those are all symptoms of the disease. Mm-hmm. The problem lies within.
Absolutely.
If you're comfortable sharing, what are some of the things that you learned about yourself?
Oh, great question. See, I love talking about the step work.
Mr. Valedictorian.
I love talking about the step work, and I'm really adamant about AA and the program. It has done wonders for me. The first thing that I learned is that I'm powerless to everything. Mm-hmm. The problem absolutely stems within myself, and the problem did not just stop with drugs and alcohol. It went into gambling, it went into sex and love and all of these different things. Mm-hmm. If there's something I share when I tell my story in meetings, that if there's something that you can be addicted to, I either have been addicted to it, will be addicted to it, or am currently addicted to it and I don't know it yet. But in terms of like step work, the biggest thing for me was step 4. When I go through steps with sponsees, I say the action steps 4 through 9 are in pairs for a reason. We have 4 and 5, 6 and 7, and 8 and 9. They're in pairs. One sets up for the other one. So step 4, you're writing out this list all about yourself, the people, places, and things you resent, people, places, and things that you've harmed, and the people, places, and things that you fear. I thought that I was this big, tough guy, had no fears. And my sponsor at the time, he sent me this packet to help get the wheels churning because my brain function wasn't really that great. Mm-hmm. Here's some things you might have missed, maybe, that you could write down. And I had a list of fears because I was like, oh, I'm not afraid of people, things. And then it was concepts. And I'm reading all these concepts, fears of abandonment, fears of being myself, fear of being alone. I wasn't comfortable being alone with myself. I wasn't comfortable being me. And I looked at those fears and I was like, damn, I'm kind of pussy. I'm kind of soft. Like, holy shit. Like, I really need to work on these things. And that might have came from a whole lot of things. Like not having an identity, not knowing who I was, not being comfortable like in any social circle, but in all of them at the same time, made me not really sure where I fit in when I could just fit in with myself and be okay. But I wasn't comfortable to do that yet. And then having to share all of that with another person was tough in 5. Step 5 was hard. My step 5 took probably like 4 or 5 hours. My packet was long. I heard a lot of people along the way. I had a lot of anger inside of me. Yeah. Towards the world, towards God, why me? Mm-hmm. Why me? Why me? I was still in that me state. And I had a lot of fear. And I had to talk about that with another person, which I had never done. I love to just keep it inside and just push it down. Just keep pushing it down. And like I've said, most self-deprecating narcissist ever. So outwardly, I'm the best at everything. I'm the smartest. I'm the coolest. Mm-hmm. But inside, I'm just hurting. Yeah. And I finally let it all out.
Yeah.
It was a long step.
Were you ever able to make amends to that girlfriend?
I was not. I was not able to make amends to that girlfriend.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, that's all right. So to the audience, this is super important.
Yeah.
You know, we're taught that if we make amends, unless it's going to injure them or other people.
Absolutely.
And if someone clearly does not want to talk to you and you think you're going to create more harm by reaching out to that person, then it is strongly advised not to reach out to them and make amends, because it'll only do more harm than help.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Yeah. And that goes with talking with a sponsor. I make this list of all the people that I've harmed in step 8. And I sit with them and say, I want to make amends to all these people. And he goes, the amends are not for you. They're not. They're for the other person specifically.
This is news to me.
Yeah, I'm like, well, shit, man. I want to talk to all these ex-girlfriends and tell them
let's rekindle the flame.
Like, look at how great I'm doing now. Like,
I know.
I'm working at Wawa. Life is good. I've been sober 7 months and I'm kind of untouchable right now. We can rebuild this bridge. He's like, dude, they don't want to hear from you.
Oh,
you were terrible.
Oh.
Like, you were an evil, evil person to them. And you want to call them and tell them you're sorry. Like, when your name pops up on their phone, they're going to have a bad day.
Oh.
So don't talk to them. Your amends to them are living amends, where you treat all the other future girlfriends that you have not the way that you treated them.
Oh.
You actually care about them. You listen to them. You're attentive. And you don't do drugs and ignore them. It's that simple.
You have a good sponsor.
I do have a good sponsor. My sponsor now, he celebrates 7 years tomorrow.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
My first sponsor, I moved on from him and worked the steps a second time. But
that's great.
My first sponsor, very by the book. Read it inside and out, all the stories. Big book guy. Big step work guy. So
you, again, got sober at 21. You obviously had to change your entire life, and friends are a big part of anyone's life at the age of 21.
Yeah.
How did you build a sober community, and did you have to say goodbye to your old group of friends for at least a while or for good?
Yeah. So there were a lot of people from college that I no longer talk to anymore. Just because I wasn't there anymore. There's a couple core friends that I still have, and I was really close with them, and they're really happy that I'm sober now. One of them specifically was the guy that I was living with junior year. My addiction got so bad, he moved out. And about a year sober, I went back and I made amends to him in person. It was like a 3-hour conversation that he and I had, and he and I are really close now still. So it's a really good example of the program working.
Yeah.
To rebuild things. You can, if you have like these friendships that you tore down, it is possible if you change yourself. And he also did some work on himself too. He got his life situated. So we were able to say, hey, the past is the past. Things are different now, but we're cool.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
But in sobriety, a big hump for me is I'm 21 at the time, 22, 23. A lot of people in AA are older than me. I'm cool with it now. My friends are 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
That's cool. There's young people in AA. My sponsor now, he's 27 or 28. And he introduced me to this group of guys. We have a text message chain that we've been a part of for the last couple of years. We send gratitude lists every day.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's really cool. And it's all about like getting a part of the program. I didn't get all these friends from sitting in the back. I didn't do step work from sitting in the back. I had to raise my hand and say, I need help, because I didn't understand a whole lot. I definitely didn't know how to stay sober a day at a time. I definitely didn't know how to handle life on life's terms. I had to raise my hand in meetings and say, I don't know how to do this, and let somebody with 10 years tell me how to do it. And I had to listen.
Practice humility.
Yeah.
I guess all that acid really worked out well for you.
Yeah, definitely. After the ego death wore off for a little bit, the acid did help. Yeah.
Do you have God in your life today?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My spirituality has changed as I got sober. I was definitely angry and hated God at first. And my original sponsor told me to pray. So get on your knees every day and pray and just see what happens. And for a while, nothing happened. Like for about a month, nothing happened. And one day I'm on the knees praying, just saying whatever. And all that I see with my eyes closed is a little spark of light. So that's good enough. That's higher power for about a year. And I told him about it and he said, great, as long as it's not you. And that's what I tell my sponsees, as long as it's not you. It can be a cup. It can be AA. I don't care. Yeah. As long as it's not you. I had one dude who I sponsored who said that his sobriety was the great collective of intellect throughout all of humankind. I looked at him and I said, great, as long as you are not a part of that collective. It can be the whole collective minus you.
Yeah.
And he laughed. He's like, that's a good one. I said, yeah, thanks.
So I will say, I don't think it's a coincidence that you and I cross paths. Yeah. And just so, to share with the audience, you and I, you're 25. You were probably 23 at the time. It was probably about 2 years ago. I was in Miami for a work conference and you were there visiting some friends you hadn't seen in a long time. And it was a Zen conference. I was there for another conference, but Zen had their company offsite, I guess, a conference there, and your buddies work for them.
Yeah.
And we were all on the beach, just talking. You guys were sitting next to me. We were talking, and I was sharing that I was in sobriety, and then you said you were in sobriety, and we stayed in touch. And I think my podcast popped up on your social or something. Yeah. What happened? A clip popped up on your...
Yeah, so I've had you on Instagram, both the podcast, once you started it, but I was following your personal account.
Yeah.
And I saw that it popped up 100 episodes, and I congratulated you because I'm like, hey,
yeah,
I remember you talking about starting this podcast. Congratulations on making the dreams happen.
Yeah.
And then you DM me and you were like, hey, man, you gotta come on the show. It's been a couple of years, and here I am. Dude, absolutely. I'm coming on the show.
You had 2 years at the time, or maybe like a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's just crazy how God works sometimes.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And
that it was just a thought then. It was just like a fleeting thought for me, whether I was going to do this or not. I ended up doing it a year after that. But it's, God moments and people cross paths with certain people for a reason.
Yeah, it's absolutely. A beautiful thing. But on the spirituality topic, my recovery got stronger as I put down that idea of the little light and I actually stepped into God and calling it God. And I'm now more religious in Christian faith. I don't really go to church, but I do read the Bible and everything. And I try and take aspects and pray on my own time. And my spirituality and faith in recovery really grew as I did that. We talk about in the rooms that 10, 11, and 12 keep you sober. For me, the 11th step in meditation helps me grow. The 12th step keeps me sober a day at a time, helping other people. But the 11th step is where I can listen to God and grow as a person.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Chandler, we'll end on that note. I want to thank you for taking the drive, for sharing your experience, strength, and hope. And you help other people too. It's not, you don't just take for yourself. You sponsor guys and you're doing it, and you're a great example to young people getting sober. 21 years old I couldn't even fathom that thought of getting sober at 21. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And thank you again for taking the drive.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.